Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Pokemon challenge. Today we're taking on Pokemon Nova Red with only Gomamon. Now I am allowing myself to evolve Gomamon throughout his whole chain so that, he'll end on Vikemon. The reason is because this ROM gets brutal, it gets painful, and I want to talk about the rules. I am only allowed to use the starter I get at the beginning of the game throughout the whole run, and I am only allowed to use him. We are not allowed to use items in battle, and we're not allowed to cheat. With that being said, let's get started. I go and grab my Poke-mon, and I decide to name him Like, because you know what? You guys should leave a like on this video. It helps out a lot, and it tells me if you want to see more challenges like this. We get into that first fight with the rival, and I gotta say, you know what? This is probably one of the easiest fights I've had in a long time. 3 tackles gets the KO. So this is where the challenge gets a little bit more difficult. I decide to train up Poke-mon to level 14 so I could get Gomamon, and once he evolves, we decide to take on Brock. We get to Brock and he leads Gomamon, so I use Fishious Wren to pick up a KO, and then comes out Kudamon. I use 1 Fishious Wren, and it's not doing much, so we start spamming Water Gun until he fades. We get into Mount Moon, and I decide to take the Helix Fossil because I know someone's going to ask. And we decide to go and fight Misty. Sadly, we can't actually beat Misty. Her Sparkmon just kills me. So we go into the rival, who starts with Biomon. Biomon dies to Fish Power. Tentamon dies to Fish Power. Tainamon almost dies to Fish Power. We actually get poisoned. Another Fish Power just barely whiffing. I live on 12 HP. Kentomon comes out and we KO him with 4 HP. We do evolve Like into Irakamon. And we decide to go take on the rival again at the SSN because sadly, I can't beat Misty. It's just because of that Starmon. And the rival falls real easy to Aqua Tail. Just all of his Mons are just kind of fragile. We go and finally take on Misty, and she leads with Betamon. I decide to use Aqua Tail and Oko it, and then comes out Starmon. I go for Aqua Tail, and it's a 2-piece. Sadly, we can't beat Lieutenant Surge, so I decided to go and do Lavender Tower, and I decided to go and fight my rival. We start off with Water Pulse, and he immediately changes to Ponchomon, who we KO. Now we're learning Vulcan Hammer. Vulcan Hammer is the signature move actually to Zudomon, which is very useful for me. We decide to use Water Pulse on Kabuterimon, almost KOing it, but a 2-piece does take it out. Bergermon comes out and we pick up a quick KO. We decide to use Water Pulse one more time on Mondomon, and we are just kind of like poking around, having fun with this fight, so we easily KO him. Then comes out Vmon, who I use Vulcan Hammer on. And with this fight, Like evolves into Zudomon. We go and fight Giovanni because we're still just a bit worried about Lieutenant Surge, and all of Giovanni's Mons just fall to Water Pulse. This was a pushover. We go and fight Lieutenant Surge finally, and we start with Vulcan's Hammer to KO Kabuterimon. Then comes out Drakomon, who we again use Vulcan's Hammer on, and Unimon comes out for a Vulcan Hammer. We go and train Zudomon to evolve into Vikemon at level 60 and take on Koga. Koga leads off with Flymon. We use a Tidal Wave whiffing, but we do catch the Ogremon on the catch. Flymon comes back, we use 2 Tidal Waves to kill it, and then comes out Troopermon. We almost KO with Tidal Wave, he Hyper Potions. We almost KO one more time, another Hyper Potion. I whittle it down with a cut and KO him here. Then comes out Paleodramon. So we use Maljarin, almost KOing. We go for a second one, just barely whiffing, but a third one for game. We go and take on Erica finally. She reads with Shurimon, so we go with Tidal Wave. Just about 60%. We're going for another one. She does heal. We're just going to keep whittling it down. We're trying to burn all of her potions. We do kill him here. Murakomon comes out. We go for a Tidal Wave again, 2-piecing it. And then comes out Lotusmon. We try to see how much this does. She puts us to sleep, and I start panicking, so I start spamming Mulgerin for game. Everyone's favorite rival fight. Rival 5 leads off Bergermon, we KO it in 1 shot. Then comes out Ponchomon, dies to 2 Ice Beams. Then comes out Kabuterimon. I decide to go for another Ice Beam, putting it to half. We go for 3 of them to KO it. Now comes out Rapidmon. We use Mulgerin to KO him. Then comes out Muradomon. We go for another Tidal Wave, almost KOing it, and its second one for game. Moving into Sabrina's fight, we start off with Tidal Wave on Wizardmon. He confuses us. Second Tidal Wave picks up the KO. Now comes out Sorakimon, who uses EQ. I go for an Ice Beam, getting the freeze, snap out of confusion, a second one for game. Then comes out Kazimon, who we KO with a Malgerin and a Piedmon. We use Tidal Wave, and we go in for again as he's Calm Mining. I'm like, nah, screw this, and Malgerin for game. Going into Blaine's fight, he leads with Flame Dramon. I go for a Tidal Wave, almost KOing it, a second one to KO it. Then comes out Growlmon. I go for Tidal Wave, and it's doing Jax. We go for Ice Beam, almost KOing it, a second one to kill. Then comes out Skullgreymon. I don't know what typing this is, so I go for Ice Beam. Didn't do much, so I go for Maldron, pick up that KO. And then comes out Meramon, so I just go for another Maldron and kill. Moving into Giovanni, he leaves Trianamon. We go for a Tidal Wave, missing the first one. Second one contacts. Third one picks up the KO. Then comes out a Truskmon. We go for another Tidal Wave, OHKOing it. Then comes out Jagimon, OHKOing it. You're catching the theme here. Alamon comes out and it actually lives Tidal Wave, but a 2-piece to KO. And then comes out Dark Trianamon. And this one is almost a 2-piece, but Maldron wins. So this is where the game catches up to me. Even though I am at level 100, all of these mons body me so hard. So we go into Lorelei. She leads with Frigimon. I go for Tidal Wave, 2-piecing this mon. And then comes out a Marinamon. I go for Maldron to KO it here. Plessimon gets a Maldron to the face. Then comes out Mega Seadramon, another Maldron to the face. Metal Garurumon comes out and I spam Tidal Wave until he faints. Next is Bruno. Bruno eats an EQ to the face. His Grapplemon dies. Lava Goramon eats 2 Ice Beams for a quick KO. Then comes out Machine Dramon. An EQ almost KOs, and he EQs me back. A second one does KO. Justicemon comes out. I go for a Tidal Wave and miss. Maldron does pick up that KO, and then a Metal Edamon eats an EQ. Agatha comes out with a Phantomon. I start with Tidal Wave, 2-piecing her. Then comes out Beelzemon. We go for an EQ, and it is a 2-piece here. Piedmon comes out, and I go for a Tidal Wave, almost KOing it, but a second one does pick that up. Lilithmon comes out, and I go for a Maldron to pick up a quick KO. And then Diaboramon comes out. I go for another one as I am poisoned, and I go down to 6 HP from his explosion. I actually lose to Lance 3 times, and this was just frustrating me over and over again. Here is the run where I got lucky and none of his mons used EQ, and I just barely beat his Valkyriemon. The rival fight took me 20 tries, 2 hours to do this, and even then, sadly, you do have to use items. I do KO his first 2 mons super easy. Rosemon comes out, I have to use Ice Beam. Rosemon is the reason we have to use items. So I max potion here. And I got lucky, and Petal Dance only goes off twice. She does hit herself with Confusion. I do hit Ice Beam again, and Ice Beam does KO this mon. Kabuterimon comes out, and I go for a nice Ice Beam, doing no damage. We go for an EQ, it kills Kabuterimon. Then comes out Rapidramon, an EQ kills it, and then Cyberdramon comes out. I go for a Maldron, doesn't KO though, but I go for an EQ, and I remember this thing is a dragon, so I Ice Beam it to death. I do want to talk about this run very quick. Sadly, you can't do this without items. It is because of that Rosemon that you can't do this without items. His mons are just structured that way to body you. So sadly, the challenge is doable, but you do need items to beat the Rosemon.